Hello and welcome to the next video of my LCK 2024 preview series. We're going to cover FearX. It'll sound like a new team because it is, but technically it's just Live Sandbox who has been name changed to FearX. Organization is still the same. People making decisions are still the same. I'm not going with we're going to look at Live Sandbox last 3 years and think about them while we discuss this team, unlike other new orgs where we can say, okay, this is new management. These are going to be new ways to look at things in other regions. So, FearX. They have a fox as their logo. Last 3 years, 17 and 19, 17 and 19, 15 and 21. So 3 straight losing seasons overall. In 2020 in summer, they did have, 2022 in summer, they did have, a come up, if you will. Did very well, if you remember that Prince roster that put him on the map at a high level. And they would falter in the playoffs and not get to Worlds and things like that. But that was kind of the bright spot of the last 3 years. Otherwise, it's been meh at best and crap at worst. Some changes from last year's roster. So Birdall is gone. He went to the LPL. Teddy just went over him with DRX. And Cal went to the LPL for Anyone's Legend. Now, who did they bring in? They brought in Henna and Execute. And you're going to be like, who the hell is Execute? Zhang Hoon has name changed to Execute, former Astralis LEC support. The average age of this roster going into the year is 21.6 years old. It is not, old. In top lane, we have Clear. At 21 years old, he played 17 games last summer with Live Sandbox. We're going to look at them because they are the LCK numbers and not try and mix and match his challenger numbers. 2.7 KDA, 8.3 CS per minute, 52.7 KP, 20.8 gold share, 447 damage per minute, which was about 22% of Sandbox's damage. Solid numbers for a rookie, especially one that's coming in off the bench, not getting consistent playing time. You could argue, was he worthy of that opportunity? I mean, I think Sandbox were just pretty much saying, hey, we're not going with Birdall next year. Let's see what we have, and they liked what they saw out of Clear. At 15 minutes, he was slightly behind. 105 gold, 6 CS, but up 90 XP. 2 solo kills, which isn't a lot for a top laner across 17 games. And only played 4 champions. The standard 3 of Jax, K'Sante, and Renekton being 16 of those 17 games. So did not show us a lot when it came to champion pool, nor aggression. Probably trying to play it safe. He is an older player for being a rookie at that point. I mean, 21 years old, going to be 22 soon. Behind him, we have 2 Academy LCK top laners. So Janice played with DRX's Academy team last year. And if you watched yesterday's video, you would have heard how I felt about that team. So 32 games played, 1.6 KDA, 7.9 CS per minute, 53 KP, 22.4 gold share, and 645 damage per minute. 5 champions played. So not a wide champion pool, but that is a lot of damage. That team sucked. Somehow, some way, he almost got 8 CS per minute at 16 years old. It's his birthday when I'm recording this, so he's 17 now. In Academy, they have Ripple. He played with LSB Academy last year in the same amount of games. 3 KDA, 7.5 CS per minute, 58.4 KP, so even directly compared to Janice here, they're different type of players, right? Janice a little more aggressive, getting farm, not as involved in fights where Ripple was. 21.4 gold share, still 572 damage per minute, and 5 champions played. So 2 top laners that do find a way to get their pops in. Willer, 20 years old in the jungle. A lot of people were almost surprised by how well he played last year, but I mean, a lot of people were soured by his HLE days and him being in and out of that roster, but he was extremely young at the time, and I think people really overlook that. He's still only 20 years old now going into the year. 91 games, 3.2 KDA, 5.6 CS per minute, 70.3 KP, above average, which is fine at his age in the LCK. 18.6 gold share, 26.8 268 damage per minute, which was 13% of damage. 210 gold down 90 XP, up 1 CS. 9 solo kills, 13 champions played. Wukong, Sejuani, Maokai were just over 62% of his matches played champion-wise. So, solid player. Somebody that has a bright future. I don't think he's the issue with this team at all. I would argue top lane definitely was, so they have, you could say, addressed that. Bot lane I don't think was a problem. I think it was just top. So this we'll go over when we get there. Now they've brought in Raptor to back up Willer. Raptor has LCK experience, but last year he played with OK Bro in Challenger all year long. 70 games played, 2.9 KDA, 5.1 CS per minute, 75.4 KP. Pure facilitator. He's going to go try and make things happen. He's not going to require a lot of farm. 18.5 gold share, had 357 damage per minute, which was 17% of Bro's damage, which is a lot for a jungler. But on average, down 180 gold, 1 CS, 135 XP, which is fine given that he is a facilitator. 2 solo kills, 10 champions played, and then Chef, 19 years old, on the academy roster. Also a facilitator, 32 games played, 2.7 KDA, only 4.8 CS per minute, but a 75 KP. 17.5 gold share, 267 damage per minute, 8 champions played. And this is fine because their mid lane pool that they have is very carry oriented. So, closer, 20 years old. A lot of people, like I just said about Willer, I think a lot of people are soured by Closer's early days in his career. And now he's really come into his own the last, I would say, 3 splits and been one of the better laners in the LCK. A lot of people, I keep saying a lot of people as a phrase, just not getting the recognition he deserves, in my opinion. Statistically, he's excellent. 91 games, 2.7 KDA, 9.4 CS per minute, 64.3 KP. 23% of the team's gold, only 538 damage per minute, but that was 27.4% of Sandbox's damage. That's significant for a mid laner, right? He is a 1B carry. And then at 15 minutes, he was ahead 50 gold, 4 CS, 140 XP. And if you look across the LCK, they were very close in summer. I'm not sure how close they were in spring, but I remember constantly talking about summer mid laners in the LCK and comparing them when it came to laning stats. And, there wasn't a big gap between first and 10th. I think it was like the highest was maybe only like 6-7 CS up. But Closer putting in, work, right? Relative to very elite mids. 19 solo kills, 18 champions played. Azir, Silas, and Ari, 46% of his pool. Daystar, 20 years old, joins from Australia, was a import into Oceania in the PCS, but now has returned to Korea. Some rumors were that Jojo Pune was going to join Live Sandbox. I struggle to really believe that Jojo is better than Closer. I think that they're pretty close to each other right now. That is a pun. Now, instead they bring in Daystar, and Daystar, of course, not at that level, right? So he dominated Oceania. Take that for what you will. 61 games, 4.6 KDA, 8.9 CS per minute, 2/3 KP, 66.6. 24 gold share, super high, right? He is a 1B carry with resources, which is scary for a mid. 742 damage per minute, which was 29.2% of his team's damage. Ahead 510 gold, 10 CS, 360 XP, 45 solo kills, and 25 champions played. He earned an opportunity to return to Korea and play in challengers. Now what happens after that remains to be seen, but he definitely dominated the minor region. In Academy, they have Hinata at 19 years old, had 32 games, 3 KDA, 8.9 CS per minute, 68 KP. So pretty solid numbers. Definitely, you could have argued, earned an opportunity to play on challengers, but they went with Daystar instead. 22.9 gold share, 768 DPM. That is a lot of damage for champions played. And then there's Hervey as well. No games listed, 19 years old in mid. 80 carry Henna, 24 years old, joins from OK Bro. We saw how well Delight did after he was freed from the shackles. We'll see how Henna does. Henna, older, 24 years old, like I said. So I think he's kind of tapped out. I don't know if there's much more potential there, but he is free, so maybe he can improve. 89 games, 2.8 KDA, 9.6 CS per minute, 64 KP. 23.9 gold share, which is pretty low for an 80 carry. You don't want to be below 24% for sure. 519 damage per minute, which was under 28% of damage, so 1A, 1B type of carry. On average, down 250 gold, 6 CS, 115 XP, 5 solo kills, 13 champions played, Aphelios, Zeri, and Zaya, accounting for 56% of his games. So, I mean, this is a new bot lane. I would have preferred to keep Cal, and whatever 80 carry you end up going with is what you go with. Jonghoon is also underrated, but not nearly as young as Cal. So, I mean, this is definitely a duo, right? Now, in my opinion, Henna's just kind of keeping the seat warm because Diable at 16 years old put up a great year last year in Challengers. And he turned 16 like at the end of the year. He was 15 for the most of the year and was dominant. And that's like, he's the next 80 carry to watch. So 91 games, 3.2 KDA, 9.8 CS per minute, 71 KP, 25.3% of his team's gold, 670 damage per minute, which was just under 31% of LSB Challengers damage. At 15 minutes, behind 145 gold, 1 CS, 45 XP. Would like the laning to be better, and I think they've addressed that with some additions at support. Now, it's just a matter of time. Like, this kid is really cracked. 9 solo kills, 10 champions played. Selena in Academy, 18 years old, 32 games, 2.5 KDA, 9.3 CS per minute, 68.6 KP. 25 gold share, 690 damage per minute, 10 champions played as well. I mean, they were leapfrogged. What else is there to say? Diable comes in and gets to go on Challenger. Selena is stuck on Academy. Numbers are not super dominant to warrant a promotion anyways. But, like, Henna's job is not safe. It's kind of funny that looking at this, I would only say Clear doesn't have pressure behind him for playing time. Raptor, I could see pushing Willer. I could see Daystar pushing Closer. I could see Diable pushing Henna. And then we go to bot support. So Execute, like I said, formerly known as Jonghoon, is 23 years old. In LEC with Astralis, 42 games, 2.4 KDA, 72.4 KP, 194 damage per minute. He was very aggressive, roamed around the rift, and was, frankly, all Astralis had for many games last year. 3.07 vision score per minute, would place almost 9 wards every 5 minutes, 2 control wards every 5 minutes, and 1 ward cleared every 3 minutes. 13 champions played. Nautilus, Nami, and Ashe accounting for half of his games. So keep that in mind. A lot of Ashe games affecting that vision score. Kabe and Jonghoon had their pop-off moments, but then they also had games where it was just like, ooh, it's not going well. Duro, 21 years old, played with Hanwha Life last year in Challengers, and I think he's one of the better supports in Challengers. And it was a smart decision by this team to bring him in to play alongside Diable. Some veteranship there. It's, I think, a big move. Something that maybe you're looking at their 2025 bot lane with Diable and Duro. 104 games, 4.9 KDA, 73.3 KP, 169 damage per minute, and great vision numbers, 3.43 vision score per minute, placing just under 8 wards every 5 minutes, would almost place a controller at every other minute, and clear 2 wards every 5 minutes, and 19 champions played, so wide champion pool, very good player. One of the top prospects in his role. And then Aegis, 18 years old in Academy, played with DRX and Live Sandbox last year, 60 games, 3 KDA, 70.7 KP, 194 damage per minute, 15 champions played. Lastly, we have Ryu. He's the coach. He's been the coach for a season when they went 15-21 last year, and then 1-3 in spring playoffs, dropping out in the first round. So this roster, really, I mean, based on how last year looked going into summer, they have 3 new players. Like I said, I felt like only the top lane was a real big issue. The bot lane wasn't great, but it certainly wasn't as bad as the top lane. And in the end, they go internal for the top lane position and go external for bots. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and I hope to see you again tomorrow.